Thank you, Michelle. I think that was, and I don't want to use the word anxious again today, but I think we've definitely heard and learned a couple of things today that, should you so feel, could give you a bit of anxiety. But I think that's a lot of our engagement with you guys, and a lot of the background work that we do is trying to sift through this information and trying to make sure that you don't have to read all 175 pages, but we'll make sure that the 5 or 6 lines that are really relevant to your business will make its way into your hands. So Michelle said that she was going to give over to Heidi, and Heidi would have introduced me. But looking at the time, I see that we are very, very close to actually being over. So we've decided not to necessarily keep you for a long time. I don't want to rush through my presentation either. I don't think it's going to get the value into your hands that we want to. So what Heidi and I have talked about is that I will still do my presentation in a recorded format, and then we'll send it to all of you to have a look at. So what I do, maybe just want to wrap up on a couple of points for today, is you've heard the word risk a couple of times, and you've heard the word opportunity a couple of times. Even talking to Christopher, he said, understand your risk. Understand what it is that you're working with. Davi said to you at some point, you can act like you are neutral, but the way that you act and the side that you choose and the way that you engage gives us information. Keita said that we all have evidence embedded into how you work, so that if you are called for records, we do not then start running around trying to embed a process that should have been there from the beginning. So definitely in terms of that key takeaway, not specifically in our core industry or your core industry, but principles that are true across. And then lastly, Michelle has also said we have an optimism bias. And I think maybe that's a very nice tone to end the day off with, is definitely in terms of regulatory change, and you guys will see some of the slides I would have shown you. I think they would have alleviated some of the anxiety. But definitely as we go into this phase of change, talking COFI, talking CBR, have an optimism bias. There's a lot of opportunity for you in your business. If you understand your data, specifically talking COFI, Omni, CBR, those business data sets are so valuable. So if you understand what we are trying to achieve in terms of those data sets, you bring that together with your business understanding, and nobody knows your business better than you do. And we then bring in kind of artificial intelligence, tool efficiencies, things that make your business run better. I don't think that there is a future where you guys will not excel. Definitely also a couple of points on, if you are doing stuff, you're using your valuable time on administration, for example, you should probably be thinking about upskill and changing your resources around. So there's a couple of principles, a couple of concepts that I will share with you in my presentation. But my message really today was just around a lot of, I think, frustration and a lot of conflicts in our current environment. And if I can ask you guys to imagine it almost as a turning point, is we sit with a lot of regulation on the outside, the Financial Markets Act and FAIS and Collective Investment Scheme, and all of those are continuously evolving, continuously moving. And on the inside of that, there are a couple of, call it themes if I would. And those themes are true across all industries. We talk cybersecurity, we're talking about protecting people, we're talking about enhancing your data, we're talking about risk management, as Michelle has said. These are things that are true, again, in all industries, in all businesses across the world. And then if you imagine in the middle of that core sits TCF, treating your customers fairly, sits business development data, and sits Omni CBR, which really is where COFI hits the road. So if you're talking about a license to operate, if you're talking about where your business should be digitalization-wise or data-wise, look at the Omni CBR, look at the data that the regulator is asking you for, because that's really the direction that we want our clients to move in, and we as a business are moving in as well. So definitely looking at our processes. Jolene has mentioned that our systems, we're also making advancements there. We're very excited about some of the things that are about to happen in our business to make your lives a lot easier. And then maybe just as I close off, one of the things that we are excited about in terms of this advancement is also, I think, demonstrating and helping you guys with some struggles. So we've heard a couple of calls around the RE5 module, some training, and that is something that we've now also been able to take online. So from May onwards, you'll see that Masthead will start offering a lot of online courses. So the RE5 for representatives is first, and that will be available. And we are also working on a key individual course, also online. And you'll see a lot of the other tech stuff that we'll share with you and be busy with. So all in the right direction, all in the same direction, and we're definitely not talking to you about concepts that we're not also dealing with. So definitely together into this new change. Thank you.